When I was in Shiraz, I went to Sadi's tomb, and I really wanted to paint there. It's magnificent. I went and sat on the grass. I found a spot I wanted to paint, and I started painting, and they asked me to leave the guards. So I got brave enough to start painting there. But then a woman came dressed in black, and she's standing over me, and she said, "Hanum." And I looked up, I said, "No." She said, "No?" I said, "No." Man nagoshi hamruz hafeziye, man nagoshi hamruz bage eram, man nagoshi inja. And she looked at me and she said, "Welcome." My name is Laurie Blum. I was born in New York. I'm an artist, and I enjoy painting gardens and beauty and creating environments for people to enjoy what God put naturally there for us to keep our health and happiness. For almost 10 years, between 1991 and 2001, I was working on this garden, and as I was working on it, a friend of mine who was helping me dig said to me, "You know, it looks Persian." And I said, "Yes, it's my Persian inner-outer garden." I started painting again right before I went to Iran and Istanbul, Turkey, and then full on when I went to the Garden of Paradise in Shiraz. I started painting, and I haven't stopped. I was looking for a spiritual master when I was young, so I would spend 4 months at a time going to India until I got married. Meher Baba's chief woman disciple, Mera, was so beautiful, and Baba said she was the purest soul in the universe. And I became very close friends with Mera. Baba had dropped the body in 1969, and she lived 20 years without him, and she was missing him. So I would try to cheer her up and do paintings of her with Baba. And she became a very important part of my life because the beauty of Mera was like all the gardens in one. It was like she was the one with gazelle eyes. She was the one that is in all the Persian poetry. I wish I had little rocks to put in. Oh, I do. It's my desire since I was young to bring heaven on earth. Now I've taken all the small limestone rocks and put them around the base to make it more uniform. And we're going to bring in mulch, and we're going to plant some new plants. This is a major renovation of it. I'm struggling to finish in a time limit. Should be exciting to see what happens in just a couple of hours. This painting is called Surrenderance. I struggled to finish this painting for the show at the National Arts Club, so I said, I surrender. I'm just painting for God, I'm not painting for the world. And I went to sleep, and the next morning I woke up. It was Friday, and I was to leave Saturday to drive to the show. I started painting at 9 o'clock, and I painted straight there till 6:30, and it was finished. It's got to do with the surrenderance of the, I guess you'd say, the ego. It's also about the blue peacock. Looks beautiful on the outside, but the inner beauty is fantastic. It is even more startling. One is the world, and the other one is the inner world. The outer world and the inner world. When I met Mr. Farshian, I said, I never had a teacher and I don't know if I need one. And he said, bring my catalog, and he put his phone number so I could call him. When I came back to the United States, I called him. He said, we have different styles. do 1,000 drawings and send them to me. And I started to draw the birds that I love. In the drawing is the anhinga, hoopoe, which I drew from my stuffed bird, and some quail, and a swan, and seagulls, a mourning dove, a hummingbird, and a simorgh. My friend in the mission of Iran had recommended me to have a show there. Pretty close to 50 of the paintings were from Iran. And it was so beautiful to have them on the wall. And Master Farshian came to the show on my last day. He said that he felt like he was in the Garden of Paradise because all the pictures were there, and he was so happy. When he saw the Conference of the Birds, it was the first time he saw it painted. And he said, you have to put these paintings in a book as soon as possible because Shiraz and Hafez are for the whole world, not just Iranians. When I went to Iran in 2004, the third trip, I had all my paintings, and the Shiraz Cultural Institute saw my art and they said, you know, what makes you so drawn to Hafez? And these are the colors of Shiraz. How do you know? One of the publishers for their institute said to me, you're from the West and we're from the East, but your paintings show the real dialogue between civilizations. I said, what is that? And they said that Hatami had made a speech, and he said, what we need is not war between civilizations, but the real dialogue. And your paintings show it. They said, artists might say this line isn't right or that line isn't right, but Laurie paints with feeling, and that's something new. There were so many missing links in my knowledge of myself, and going to Iran opened the door, and it's really helped me to find myself. When I left Iran after my last trip, January 2005, I went to India from there. I spoke to the nephews of Meher Baba. When they saw my paintings, they said, I remember that Meher Baba said that Shiraz is the most beautiful place on earth. So there's something very special for the lucky people that live in Shiraz. It is a secret. Shiraz, they told me, means city of secrets. And Hafez invites you to go to his garden where he is, and Shiraz and the tomb, and to find the friend. And the friend for me was what I had always longed to find, was my inner self and my happiness and joy. And the beauty is sublime. So beautiful. My work is not just painting. These flowers that God put here are here because they not only are beautiful, they not only smell good, but they're healing. It's not a frivolous thing to visit a garden or to surround ourselves with gardens, and I know that the Persian people have gardens. They're so important, so they realize this. But the world needs to realize it. The world needs to know that what is in Iran is something magical and very sacred. I hope that they can appreciate it because, you know, for me, I'm very strong about nuclear energy too. I'm not political, but I'm one of those that wants to protect the environment. Nuclear power destroys the beauty of the earth, and we saw what happened in Fukushima. I've never wanted it in my country. I want the natural things. We really need to get back to the simple way of living.